Hey my beautiful bitches, it's me, Fiona St. James, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Fiona's Coffee Talks. Thanks in advance for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe. And as usual, I always love to start off my morning with a hot, lap, fresh cup of coffee. Hold the cream! I'd love to. And in the words of my favorite author, Oscar Wilde, remember, life is too important to be taken seriously. So, having said that, let's move on to today's topic, which is Fire Island. Now, I'm going on 55, as I have mentioned before. So picture this, 1985. I was born and raised in the Bronx. I was very limited in terms of going out, going to clubs, being active within like my gay life. And I had heard of this place, Fire Island, and I knew that it was, kind of this gay mecca. So on a whim, I figured out how to get there. It was taking the Long Island Railroad to a van, to a ferry. So July 4th weekend, 1985, I thought, I'm gonna check it out. So I kind of lied to my parents and told them that I was going to go spend the weekend with friends out in Long Island. So with a knapsack, $75 in my pocket, no place to sleep, not knowing anyone, I thought, I'm going to go for it. Like, how bad could it be? I'm a survivor. Shit, if I was born and raised in the Bronx and 20 years later was still surviving, I thought, I can do this. So I'll never ever forget that precise moment when I got off the ferry and thought, oh my God, I've died and gone to heaven. It was this beautiful community with all of these gays and lesbians all over the place and this beautiful beach. And I was like, why haven't I been here? And that moment of actually walking through the boardwalk down to the beach and actually getting on the beach, I will never ever forget that precise feeling, which was really this feeling of euphoria, which I had never ever experienced before. So, I was laying out at the beach all day and, meeting different people. And I met this really handsome man who just kind of stopped and started talking to me. And, before I knew it, we were like hanging out, kissing, all of that good stuff. We didn't do anything major, but he took me out to dinner. We went for drinks. And I remember I was limited as to my experience with men, or even just, picking up strangers the way I did at that point. So 5 hours later, when he says to me, okay, well, I'm going to go home now, I remember that feeling of like being shocked, because I was like, wait a minute, we just spent all this time together and you're going to leave me? I mean, that's how naive I was. And I remember he noticed that look on my face and said to me, oh, don't worry, you're going to be fine. You're cute. You're going to have a great weekend. And that precise moment, I sort of thought to myself, yeah, you know what? I am. And I did a complete 180 and walked back to the Ice Palace. And you knew at that point, okay, I can do this. And that was the first time that I had ever like met someone like that and been that casual where like, I'm making out with a total stranger. Anyone that I had any kind of intimacy before was always someone that I knew. So who knew? But Fire Island that weekend was amazing. That first night, I was out late at the clubs. I didn't find a place to sleep. So I ended up at Michael's restaurant, which is not even in existence anymore. I should mention I was at Cherry Grove. There's Cherry Grove and then there's the Pines. So I knew to go to Cherry Grove because I had been told that it was a lot more multicultural and there were drag queens and this and that. And so the second day that I was there, I was on the beach, ended up meeting someone who ended up becoming a dear friend by the name of Rita. We've lost touch since then, and then I also ended up meeting this very nice man named Michael, who is an attorney, and I ended up spending the weekend with him. And I just had the most amazing time, but it was this incredible feeling of, wow, there's this community out there, there's this beach community, and as a Pisces, I left the beach, where you could just go there, be yourself, and, fast forward, I was there every weekend, every summer, pretty steadily from 1985 through about 2002. I don't go out there as often anymore, but you know, it still will always hold a dear place in my heart. I've met amazing people out there. You know, a lot of things happened for me the first time being out there. You know, the story I just told, but also that was where I first started doing female impersonating, because I'd seen all of these different drag queens and they kind of inspired me. And being that I had a theater dance background and I was always on stage and putting on makeup, and I knew I was a pretty boy, for lack of a better term, I thought, well, how hard can this be? I mean, I kind of look like a girl when I put on boy makeup anyway, so it just sort of made sense. And sort of did it on a whim. Miss Ice Palace 1987, I think it was, no, 88, and borrowed a dress, borrowed a wig. Didn't win the contest, but then had my first paid professional booking within a week. So that was kind of neat. You know, Fire Island these days, when I go, it's very different. You know, unfortunately, when I started going, which was 85, it was around that time that the AIDS epidemic really hit, and a lot of people that I knew when I first started going out there, where it was like packed every weekend, and every weekend was like 4th of July. Then suddenly for the years to follow, you noticed where that was dwindling down, because unfortunately people were not alive to go. So that was the sad reality about that. You know, but it's still like some of my fondest memories, and then some of my lack of memories, because God knows I've had my moments out there where, like, you know, you drink a little too much and you're like, wait, what happened last night? Blackout Betty, as it were. Not too often, but hey, I admit it. I'm not perfect, so that has happened. I think the last time I was out there was probably last summer, so now, like, you know, I might go once or twice a summer, so definitely not like I used to. But you know, there's the invasion that I did every year for many years, and then Miss Fire Island, which I competed in for like decades. Never won, but you know, it was just kind of wonderful to be out there and do that and perform out there. I did win Miss Long Island 1994, which was at the bunkhouse in Sayville, which also no longer exists. What else can I say about Fire Island? It's this beautiful gay mecca that it really is like paradise, and it still is. You know, you have Cherry Grove, as I mentioned, the Pines. The Pines is quite wonderful as well. You know, those are the two major gay communities, and I happen to be a fan of both. So what else can I say? Hold on, you know, I actually wrote a few notes. Don't mind me. Yes, I am in my 50s, so I wear glasses. I want to make sure that I didn't leave anything out that I wanted to cover. Yep, that pretty much says a lot. But yeah, so if you've never been there, check it out. There are other communities as well that are more heterosexual, like Ocean Beach, I think, is one. I've never been to those, but I hear they're lovely as well. So yeah, Fire Island, all of my people out there that, you know, that are still around. Sorry that I don't go out there as much, but you guys have and always will be in my heart. And so yeah, so check it out. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm going to make this one a little short and sweet, although I don't know how short it is, because God knows I have a tendency of rambling on. So those of you out there that are listening, give me your input. Like, what's your thought on Fire Island? Like, how was it back then? How is it different now? You know, do you prefer it now? Do you miss the good old days where, you know, the Ice Palace, every tea dance on a Sunday would be jam-packed, and, you know, and maybe not as much now, although they do have the poolside show, and those queens are fierce. So leave your comments. Let me know what you think. I'm so glad I did this. I will see you guys again soon. Don't forget, subscribe to Fiona's Coffee Talks. Speaking of which, coffee and Kahlua. Alrighty. Have a good one, guys. Love you.